Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Bring Back Soul Music Podcast. My special guest today is a talented singer-songwriter. Her name is Miss Bianca Jade. Miss Bianca, how you doing today?
Hello, everybody. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to the Bring Back Soul Music Podcast. Glad to have you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. The pleasure's all mine.
Thank you. Now you have a new single that was actually at the time of the recording was just released. Called Everything I Got. And I got to tell you, I listened to the song before I saw a picture of you. And I thought, that can't be the same person who is singing this song here. But I love that track. But we're going to get into that because I think people want to know more about you. So before we get started, really, tell us more about Bianca Jade.
Yeah, so I'm Cuban and Jamaican. I'm from Miami, Florida, born and raised in Miami. And so I grew up, listening to a lot of different types of music from, Latin music, Caribbean music, R&B, soul. And I started singing when I was about 9 years old, just on my own, listening to this Aretha Franklin CD that my mom gave me. And I would play the same two songs over and over again, Chain of Fools and Respect. And, just practicing the songs by myself and pretending that I'm on stage and singing at the top of my lungs. And, that's kind of where I started singing. And then after that, I sort of delved more into other female vocalists. And I discovered Alicia Keys and I discovered Christina Aguilera. And when I listened to Alicia Keys, I decided I wanted to learn how to play piano because I saw how she was able to sing and play piano. So I was like, I want to learn how to do that. And, my dad saw my love for music and he got me a keyboard piano and I started learning how to play piano by ear on my own, just learning cover songs and things like that. And so that's kind of how I started playing an instrument and singing and doing that together. And then I started writing music that way too at the keyboard. And then after a while, I went to a performing arts high school in Miami. And so I got to technically learn music and learn jazz as well. And I studied jazz also in college. So music has always been my love. It's been my first love. And, that's kind of what my world has been. And that's kind of where I've always been.
Okay. Now let's talk about your childhood a little bit. Now was from what you say, it sounds like music was always present in your home. Is that correct?
Yeah, always. I mean, we were always listening to music or I was always singing. My mom also sings a little bit too. So I would hear her sing and it kind of encouraged me to start singing too.
Okay. Do you have siblings who sing too or in a music business as well or just you?
I have a younger sister, and she's not a professional singer or anything, but she can sing and she can carry a note, but she's a little bit more shy than I am about singing. But she's very creative and is very visually creative too. She's a great visual artist. Like when we were kids, she would make mobiles and paint and would also play violin and piano. So we kind of grew up in a very creative household.
Okay. So you knew early on that this is what you wanted to do.
I did. Yes.
Okay. All right. Now you said you went to college and I think you said you studied music. What college did you go to?
I went to Miami-Dade College. I got a full scholarship to Miami-Dade. And so that's where I chose to go. And I studied music and music education. And I also took jazz. So I was in a jazz vocal ensemble and studied jazz.
Okay. Now how did you, because Everything I Got, this is not your first release.
No.
When was your first, I don't want to ask you how old you are. Maybe that's kind of rude, but
My first single.
Yes.
So um, my first single release was in 2014, I believe. And it's a song called Little Love, and it's the first song that I ever released. And it's kind of cool because like when I go back and I listen to my older music, I get to see like the growth from then to now, and it's like, okay, I'm doing something right, you know?
Okay. Was that a song that you wrote on your own, or
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I wrote that song. A lot of the music that I have written in the past, and even now, I've written at my piano. Like
Mm,
I write these songs just at the piano. I'll start vamping chords, and then melodies come to me, and then I come up with a concept, or some lyrics will come to me. I just get like these kind of like these downloads sometimes,
okay.
and like little pieces will come to me, and then I'll write full songs from there. So
Okay.
yeah, that was a piano song.
Oh, okay. Now how did you you said you've been at it since 2014. How did you get your start? Well, let me ask you, are you an independent artist? Or are you signed to a label? How does that work?
I'm an independent artist. I got started. I mean, I've always been singing and making music, but I really started to take it seriously and more professionally after I graduated high school. I uh, I won this singing contest after I graduated high school. A friend of mine called me. She said, "Hey, there's this audition for a singing competition that's in conjunction with the movie Sparkle, which was a movie that came out with Whitney Houston and Jordan Sparks. Um, they had an audition in Miami." So I went to the audition and sang one of the songs from the movie. I sang "Something He Can Feel" by Aretha Franklin, and
Great song.
it's a great song. And so I went and sang the song in front of a few judges. They loved my audition, and they asked to record me singing the song a cappella so that they could post it on MySpace, which is where all of the like national audition tapes were going to be, and people can vote for who their favorite was. And so at that point, I was like, oh, I got to get everybody I know to vote for me. So I got all of my friends and family and everybody to vote for me online. And we had like a voting party. And I was just like, I'm going to get everybody to vote for me. We're going to win this thing. And so we did. And I ended up going to New York, and I recorded a song with Jordan's production team. And I performed the song on 106 and Park and did an interview with Roxy. So that was kind of a big catalyst for me, like starting my career. And it also was a very eye-opening experience as an artist too, just seeing how things work behind the scenes.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
quite an accomplishment. Now you said you're an independent artist.
Mhm.
Everything I got, I think it was just released on the 23rd, if I recall correctly.
The
Um,
music video. Yeah,
the
I
music
released the
video.
music
Okay, how long has
video.
the song been out?
So the song itself has been out since June. I released the song
Oh,
on June 4th. We shot the music video in May in New York. And I gave it a little bit of time in between so that I could focus on other things too, like on writing other songs, and also to like put together my strategy, because I'm doing everything myself, so I have to kind of come up with like what my strategy is as an artist and all this stuff. So that's kind of why I took so long in between, but it works well because it helps the song to live longer.
mhm, exactly.
So
Did uh did did COVID uh being in this pandemic, did that kind of slow you down a little bit as well, or?
wasn't slowing us down, but it was a factor. When I got to New York, I had to take a test, and everybody in the crew, everybody had to take a test and make sure that they were negative before they showed up on set. So yeah, all the safety precautions and all that were necessary.
Okay. Well, how has it, you said it was released in June. How has it been received by the public and also your fans?
It's been great. I mean, I really am so appreciative of all of the people who support my music and who listen to my music every day. I mean, I go and I see my like monthly listeners on Spotify, and I check these things as an artist, and I'm like, wow, it's growing so much and getting added to all these playlists. I looked the other day to see like what playlist the song is on, and it's on all these beautiful like high vibrational self-love type of playlists, like playlists for manifesting, or for when you want to have a good day, or playlists for after you do a meditation, or stuff like that. And I was just like, wow, like this is actually creating such a positive impact for people, so it's nice to know that it is being received well, and that it's creating that kind of impact.
We'll continue our episode after this message.
Are you looking for a reliable way to transfer money to family and friends? Check out the Cash App. It's safe, easy, and convenient. Just download the app from the Apple or Google Play Store and start receiving and sending money in a few minutes. Sign up today and receive $5. And don't forget to use our referral code, VGRCWQX.
Swag at shop.bringbacksoulmusic.com. Now, back to our conversation.
Okay, well, that's a good segue to talking more about the song. What's the because you mentioned all the playlists that it's on Spotify. What's the meaning behind the song for those who haven't heard it yet?
So the meaning behind Everything I've Got, I wrote the song really as how do I say this? I wrote this song really as a testament to myself as an independent artist, and also to just kind of be really transparent and vulnerable about my experience as an artist too, because I feel like a lot of artists don't really show like the struggles and the things that they go through behind the scenes before the masterpiece is shown, or before you see the music video and all the glitz and glamour and all this stuff. But there's a lot that goes behind it that you don't see, and there's a lot of roller coasters and things like that. So I wrote this song to kind of create inspiration and motivation for people who are going after their dreams, or for people who have big dreams for themselves, and to let them know that it is possible and that they should keep going, and just to create that motivation.
Okay. Well, I love it. The first time I put it on, I was like, whoa, okay, this is kind of cool right here. And when I saw you, I was like, wow, this girl got some chops. So it is a great song. Now, you did mention that that you're writing more music. Is this part of an upcoming album or EP, or what's the plan going forward?
Well, I am writing. I am writing new music, but this song is probably just going to be the single that came out this year. But it is a segue leading into more music for next year. I am writing for an EP. I released my EP Jade Volume 1 in 2019, and then COVID happened in 2020. So I kind of was a little bit in limbo, just like how everybody else was. And so I decided, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and start writing for my next project. So possibly Jade Volume 2, maybe a different project, but definitely more music coming.
Okay. And I'm sure we could look forward to that in 2022.
Oh yeah, Absolutely. I'm very excited for 2022.
Okay. Let me back up a little bit because you said in college you also studied jazz. Do
Mhm.
you do any kind of jazz music, or do you foresee yourself doing jazz down the road? Because I can see you doing both just by listening to your music.
It's definitely a big influence in my music. Just everything about jazz and improvisation, and the different jazz artists that I've listened to, like Ella Fitzgerald, and the more contemporary ones like Amy Winehouse. She's a huge influence for my music as well, or has always been. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely an influence. I think that I live more in the pop R&B contemporary world, but I love to throw in jazz chords in my production and when I perform. Like I can't help it.
Okay. Now speaking of performing, I know, we're kind of maybe not in limbo, but certainly things aren't back to normal yet. Are you doing live performances, or
I
can
am.
you tour now, or how
I think tour is back, and I think in 2022 it's going to be back in full swing. Um I have been performing. I've been doing, more intimate performances and shows like that, but definitely next year I'll be doing more performances, hopefully some festivals, and opening up for other artists. Um but yeah, I would love to go on tour next year. So I'm gonna just throw that out there. That's gonna happen.
okay. Have you done the Instagram and the Facebook lives and stuff like that while we were all quarantined?
Oh yeah. I actually, so the first thing that I did when I found out we were gonna be quarantined for however long, we thought it was going to be a certain amount of time, but then it ended up being a lot longer, right? So when I first found out that we were going to be quarantined, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should do a quarantine concert. And so I did. I went and did a quarantine concert on Instagram Live and performed a bunch of my songs, just me at my keyboard, and that also was really well received. So, it's nice to have that connection with my fans and my supporters.
Absolutely. Bianca, tell people how they can reach out to you on social media, or how they can reach out to you, period.
So anybody can reach out to me on social media by looking up Bianca Jade Music. I'm Bianca Jade Music on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. On YouTube, I'm Bianca Jade Sings. But if you just look up Bianca Jade Music or Bianca Jade wherever you listen to music, you'll be able to find me.
Okay. Bianca, anything else you want to add before we close out this interview?
If you are somebody who is creative, or if you have something that you believe in that you want to act on, but maybe you've been a little bit, nervous, or you don't know how to do it, just go and do it. Make the plan and go and do it, because the reason why you have that feeling in your heart is because you're meant to do something about it. You're meant to do something with it. So whether it's for fun or professionally, you should just go and act on it, because you got to live out your dreams. You just got to.
Okay. I'm sorry. I got one more question for you.
Sure.
You said everything I got is about your experience being an independent artist. And I think you mentioned earlier that everything kind of falls on you. You're doing everything yourself, basically.
Mhm.
What type of advice would you give? Because you just mentioned, some words of wisdom or encouragement for people. What kind of advice would you give people who want to follow in Bianca Jade's footsteps?
Oh my gosh. If you want to be like me, or if you are an aspiring artist, um, first things first, I would say figure out what it is that you want. Like figure out what kind of artist you want to be, what kind of music you want to make, what you want your career, what you want your legacy to be, and figure out how to do it. so that you're confident when you get to the place where people are offering you opportunities and you're prepared for it. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That's the best advice I can give.
Okay. Sorry, one more question.
Sure,
One more
no, keep them
question.
coming.
You're independent now.
Mhm.
Would you like to, because I talk to a lot of artists and it's about half and half. Some want a record deal, but some say I would prefer to stay independent because of the independence. And so where did you fall on? Would you like to be signed to a label at some point, or independent is
I
cool with
would,
you?
you know what? I'm open to it. I'm staying open to it. If it's the right combination, if it's the right partnership, if it's the right people that I'm working with, then absolutely I'm open to it, you know. Um, I'm I want to continue growing as an artist, and I realize that I can't do everything on my own, and I don't do everything on my own. I'm independent, but you know, I still have my team of people. Shout out to Bea, shout out to DAP YP, Jillian Iscaro, who directed the music video for Everything I've Got. You know, I have these people that I'm able to reach out to, but I'm always looking to grow because I want to create a bigger platform where I can inspire people and help people heal through my music. So if that means that I should sign with a record label, then I'm open to that as well.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm so impressed with you. I think you're going places, really. Well, you're
Thank
already
you.
gone places too. So, but
Well, you said it, so it's happening.
there you go. There you go. I would encourage. Oh, where can people pick up everything I got?
You can find Everything I've Got everywhere that you listen to music, all your like favorite streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all that stuff.
Okay. Is it on Amazon as well, or
Yes, it's on
okay?
Amazon Music, all of them,
Okay.
all of the streaming
All
platforms.
right. We'll have Bianca's social media information in the show notes on this video and also on our website at bringbacksoulmusic.com. Bianca Jade, it was a pleasure speaking to you and meeting you. I know we were trying to do this interview maybe a week or 2 weeks ago and just couldn't get it together, but I'm glad you're finally here. Again, it was a pleasure speaking to you. I'll give you the last words before we close out.
It was great speaking with you as well, Todd, and I hope everybody enjoyed this podcast interview. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys on Instagram. Say hi to me, okay? Because I don't bite. I say hi to everybody. All right.
Okay.
Love you
All right.
guys.
That's Bianca. Pick up her new single, Everything, or pick up her old stuff too. Everything I Got.
All of it.
Great
Everything
song.
I've got. Pick up
Everything I
everything I've
Got.
got.
There you go. Miss Bianca Jade, I appreciate you.
All right. I appreciate you. Great.
All right. And that's Bianca Jade on the Bring Back Soul Music podcast, and we'll be right back.
Calling all lovers of soul music. The time to make soul music relevant again is now. You've been listening to the Bring Back Soul Music podcast with Todd Woodson. If you enjoyed today's show, be sure to tell a friend. Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing to our newsletter at bringbacksoulmusic.com.
Well, that's our show for today. I'd like to thank my special guest, Miss Bianca Jade. You can find out more about Bianca on her website at biancajademusic.com. Don't forget, you can listen to the Bring Back Soul Music podcast on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and Pandora. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Bring Back Soul Music TV. If you have any questions or comments, please email us at comments@bringbacksoulmusic.com. I'm Todd Woodson. Thank you for joining us. See you next week.